See how you handle it, baby.
Do you call me baby? This is live. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Wednesday, October 21, 2015. It is 4:30, and we shall begin our council meeting. May I please have a roll call?
Ron Rensing.
Here.
Randy Bunkert. Brad Hint.
Here.
Greg Gills.
Here.
Zach Sawyer.
Here.
Thank you. And first on the agenda is public comments. Do we have public comments?
Yep, that's me again.
Okay. And this is information that you're new information.
Oh, really, you gotta come help me. I can't do it.
Okay. New information. Okay. New information you're going to share with us.
Okay, well, first of all, I'd like to clarify an issue about my loud voice. In 1995, I began operating heavy equipment, and I operated, or was around, until 1998 when I retired. Having done so for 43 years, I lost 85% of my hearing, as did most of the occupation. I don't realize that I'm talking that loud. But that is me. I apologize that it seems like shouting. It is not my intent, and I'll try and keep it down. Okay. Let's talk a little bit about the permit that I handed out.
We already addressed the permit situation. We've already addressed the permit situation with our attorney. Can you hear me, Don?
What?
We have already addressed the issue regarding the permit with our attorney. That's something we've already discussed, so this has to be new information.
Okay, are you talking now about that 60-day?
Yep, that's over with. You got the letter from our attorney about 4 weeks ago on that, correct?
Yeah, but I thought I explained that too, that how was I going to know what the drainage was going to be?
Nope, we cannot take any action on that as a city. So do you have anything new, Don? I see you provided information and pictures. What is this relevant to?
Okay. What about the drainage problem?
Okay.
Now that first picture, page 1, shows where the drainage went before they put the building up. And that goes right down through the middle of where the building is now.
Okay.
Okay, the second picture is after the building is up, and they filled in front of the building. So now all the water is coming down our way. That split rail fence you see on the bottom of the picture, that is our property line. It's the northeast corner of our property. Now this spring, there was, from the snow melt off, there was a lot of water and mud around our mailbox. So we had to spread that stuff to get our mail. Then I went to the city maintenance office and talked to Dave, and he brought down a loader full of rock so that we filled in that area by our mailbox, so we had that. But that drainage problem is still a problem, and it is changed because of that building, and there's a simple fix to it. If they would, on the north side of their building, between them and Jim Thalsma, make a simple open ditch. That'll take care of the water that's coming off of the street going down, because they put in a drop inlet and a 12-inch pipe that drains that area so that they can take care of their water. But the problem with the water coming down the street, they have now made that our problem.
Okay.
So we want something done about that, and I would suggest that probably the city manager and the attorney will talk to Rome Limited and get something straightened out, because that does not fit in with the drainage plan that is in the city ordinance.
Okay.
Okay.
We will look into that, Don. And do you have anything else?
Well, yes. We still believe that we have a street in front of our place. And according to the court records, it says we have a street. If the city believes otherwise, provide us with some documentation. We are not accepting someone's opinion over what has been accepted, adopted, and on file at the Bryan County Courthouse. We want something written. Show us where we're wrong.
Okay.
And I'd be glad to.
And Don,
Okay, thank you.
No, wait, can you hear me? I just want to make sure you can hear me. I still invite you and Marita to come in and meet with us. Last week, Friday did not work. So if there's another day that does, let us know. And Scott, myself, and if Brad is available, we will sit down and go over this. Okay?
Is this going to be a private meeting or public?
We'll meet together to find out. We want to talk one-on-one. What is your concerns, which you've just given us, and we will look into those. But if there's anything further, the door is still open to come in and meet with us as a group.
Can I invite Tom to attend the meeting too then?
I don't mind if Tom comes. That's fine. Tom's welcome. It is not a closed-door meeting. Okay?
Let us know what works out. Tom, I don't want to put you in a bind, but...
Thank you, Don. Let's move on. Are there any other...
Thank you.
Are there any other public comments? If not, on the...
How was that too loud?
No, there was no arguing and no loud voices. We got that? Okay.
Depends on how Tom describes it.
Yeah, I think we all get along just fine here. Consent agenda.
I'll move.
Thank you.
Support.
Ooh, jinx. The mayor's appointment to the library board is Chanel Mattis.
Oh, cool.
Mm-hmm. And the student SCAT applicant is Christian Govea, and I'll spell those for you after the council meeting. May I have a roll call, please?
Gales.
Aye.
Sawyer.
Aye.
Hint.
Aye.
Rensing.
Aye.
And our new business is considering the engineering proposal for the Recreation Trail Project. And Scott will go over a few pinpoints of the proposal. And I also have a couple of questions, but we'll wait till we get there. So,
Sure. Sounds good.
go ahead.
We do have a few Rec Trail committee members here as well, so certainly chime in if I misspeak on what some of your comments were. What you see before you is kind of part of our process with our Sheldon Community Park out in Sheldon Crossing. Discussion's been held over the last number of months as far as our master plan, as far as moving some of the projects forward. One of those is a proposal to encircle the pond and build a recreation trail out in that area. That was included as part of our master plan. So basically what you have before you is a proposal from Beck Engineering. The reason we're working with Beck Engineering, Beck has done some preliminary work out as part of our event center project previously. Then also RDG Planning and Design does a lot of work also with Beck Engineering. So we felt in order to have some consistency and keep our costs controllable, we wanted to move forward and have them put a proposal together for us. The Recreation Trail Committee did meet and took a look at the proposal. And basically some of the numbers in here, it has lengths, estimated costs, all that information basically comes off the master plan. In order to move forward as far as considering an actual project, similar when we talked about our event center, we moved to a preliminary design phase. Basically that's what this provides. It gets more into the nuts and bolts. It does civil engineering as far as exactly where would that rec trail go, a more productive cost estimate on what it's going to entail and what that could actually look like in the area. The Recreation Trail Committee did approve to move forward with the project. And speaking with Pete here recently, Pete Hamill, who chairs the Recreation Trail Committee, they certainly would like the City Council, if they'd be willing to consider maybe a cost share on this project. Also want to make you aware we have submitted a grant application to the Wellmark Foundation, which would be a grant of $10,000. We hope to find out November 9th where we're at on the status of that. It is a very competitive grant application. There's a number of applications that have been submitted. But if whatever we would approve, that of course would be deducted off if we would cost share it. Regardless, moving forward, I think due to the fact it is a contract, I don't think the Recreation Committee maybe has the authority to approve contracts. So ultimately, it should come back to the City Council for approval regardless. So with that said, I'll open it up for discussion, comments, questions. Pete or anybody else, did I misspeak on kind of the general thoughts of why and we want to move forward on this?
What's their schedule? I know it said in here if it's approved in September, they'll start in October, the surveys, and I can never say that.
Obviously, topo.
Thank you. So will they still plan to start that in October if this is approved now? Or?
If the weather cooperates and they're able to go out there and do some
Okay.
work, they certainly like to do that this fall. The hope is then whatever we put together and get more specifics. Once again, similar to the event center, the Rec Trails has always been active at pursuing any and all possible grants and funding sources that are out there. Excuse me. That would just give us a better idea of actually taking these proposals and submitting some of those applications to see if we can get some other funding sources.
So what were they thinking about cost sharing?
I don't think they ever really had a specific number or thought in mind. I don't want to speak for them, but
Well, my question was, is the somewhat contingent
We're well
based
aware
on the
that this
grant?
is not the last of the bills that will come in.
No.
So whatever the council deems appropriate, we would go along with. Like I say, there will be a lot more
More to
expense
come.
later, whether it comes
Now or later.
shared there or all out of,
yeah, because
whatever
this is,
works.
like I said, this is the phase one, basically the
Right.
preliminary. We'd have to have a final design. You get in the construction administration, so there certainly are other costs that would be coming down the road.
So we didn't want to put anything in there specific. We want to move forward.
How many feet was it?
6,900.
6,900.
That's
How many?
the estimate. 6,900.
6,900. Okay. Do we have any idea of ballpark what it costs to put a foot of trail in?
I think they had a figure in
Yeah,
there.
their estimate was $490,000 on that. But now I need to keep in mind a section that, depending on what we do, was kind of going across those fingers through the pond.
Yeah.
And talking to Brad Beck with Beck Engineering as well, he says, I'm not sure if we'd be able to make something like that work.
Yeah.
Well, and there can be stages to this thing also.
Right.
I guess we just would like them to say, yes, you can go here, but you can't go there because the slope is too steep,
Yeah.
et cetera, and so on.
Yeah.
And until we get to that, we really won't have any ammunition to apply for grants.
Yep.
Sure.
I have a question regarding the grant from Wellmark is a grant for the engineering?
It is, yep.
Just the engineering
Yes.
cost,
Yeah,
not
it's
the
called
actual
a
trail itself.
Kickstart grant. So what they like to do is what would help kickstart a project to move forward. So we felt this really fit the criteria of applying for funding for this portion of it.
I mean, that's a little over half of the
Right.
amount
Yep.
right there. That would really.
Yep.
Yeah, if that goes through, that'd be great. But we won't know that, and you can't go in and, for instance, I've had a number of people ask me, how did the voting go? How many votes you can't even go in and look, because that's only one of the criteria. They have a lot of criteria that they look at. So until November 9th, we don't know.
Okay. Yes. If you want to come up, so Keith, thank you. We got to have you recorded.
Is that what we see? What we see on this drawing is the proposed 6,900 feet. There's nothing on this drawing I see that dives down to the pond, dives down to the water surface. Is that something that will be engineered along with?
the drawing off of that, I think.
Yeah, basically all he did was pull the master plan off the estimate was in the master plan.
Okay. So that would be done later?
Yeah, we'll have input as far as before he starts. I mean, they'll do like a topo survey of the whole thing. And my conversation with Brad is then he'll want to know what's your general plan of where you want to run this trail.
Okay. All right.
So,
Okay. Thank you. Any other questions? Comments?
Where would we come up with our half?
we actually have in our lost account, if you remember a few years ago, we started budgeting $15,000 kind of because it seemed like every year we were spending about $15,000 on engineering studies proposals. We have not spent any of those dollars as of yet. So I would
current fiscal year.
for current fiscal year. Yep. So I would recommend for our master plan, we used last year's dollars to pay for that portion of it. So I would recommend using those funds out of that lost account, depending on the amount that you're willing to, I guess, put towards it.
Okay.
Okay, with that being said, do we have a motion to approve the proposal for the Recreation Trail Project?
I'll move.
Support.
Questions or comments?
dollar amount with
I was
that?
just going to say,
or how you want to?
we need to, how do we want to go about dollar amount, depending on
Well,
what
we'll
we
pay
get from the
$1.
grant? Here's your dollar.
I think a 50-50 share would be my,
Thank you, 50/50, and who did the second over here?
Greg
Okay,
did.
still continue with your second, Greg?
Yep.
Thank you. Any last questions or comments? May I have a roll call, please?
Hint.
aye.
Keels.
Aye.
Rensing.
Aye.
Sawyer.
Aye.
Okay, and then comments, Todd, would you like to share with us on how the paving project went out in Runger? Did you bring your microphone?
I'm going to try this one because the other one went out. Yeah, just quickly, Runger Avenue or Runger Street was paved on Monday. It's actually back. They stripped forms yesterday, and this afternoon they were backfilling and whatnot, so the street should be open here in short order. And that will actually complete that project. Other than the piles of dirt out there, were actually our property. We'll have to go out there and get that.
Great, thank you. Okay, any comments, council? Scott?
I have nothing else.
I just have a couple, just our sympathies to the Marvite and Bogard family. Marv was a former mayor of Sheldon, and Zach, to your family as well. Also, Mark Postma's family. Mark was our councilman a few years back, and he passed away a couple weeks ago. Last comment I'd like to share, the Chamber will be doing their downtown events on the 30th, but citywide trick-or-treating will just remain the same on Halloween, which is the 31st. And that is all I have on my chicken scratch. So do we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion. Report.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Rensing.
Aye.
Hint.
Aye.
Keels.
Aye.
Sawyer.
Aye.
Thank you. We are adjourned.